Hi, Giant T here with a 9th Age battle report. Bit of a special one. This is brother versus brother. My two boys, well, sorry, two of my boys having a go at the first 9th Age battle. It's the Dwarven Holds, it's versus the Dread Elves, and it's only 1,000 points, so it's a little Warband game for them, just for an introduction. So, my youngest, he decided to go for the Dwarfs, and his deployment and list is as follows. So on the far side he's got 20 marksmen with crossbows. On the hill there he's got a Vengeance Seeker next to an organ gun, and just behind, I think I've got a bit of a closer up picture coming up in a second for that. He's got a Master Engineer as his general, he's got 1 up armour save and 5 up ward, I think. He's got a Runic Smith there, and again we'll go through spells in a minute. And just closest to the house here, I think it's got 15 or 16 Forge Wardens with full command. And I think the marksman had full command as well. Right, there's the close up of his Runic Smith and his general there, hiding out of sight. So going on to the Dread Elves, he's got 6 Dread Knights with full command, I believe, hidden behind the hill so he can't get shot. He's got 5 of the what was the Warlocks. And on the far side there he's got 10 Dark Riders with his general, his BSB, and his level 2 hidden behind the house. Now, both the kids, they did their own list. They told me how they wanted to play it, so that's how they played it. Now he put an extra movement banner in. After looking at it, I realised he can have it, but no, it's friendly, it's fun for them, so it doesn't really matter. So the Dwarves had the Rune of Gleaming, Rune of Resolve, and the Rune of Metal as well. And here he had the old Doom Bolt, and he's got +1 strength and armor piercing spell as well. So after Vanguard he's moved them up 12 here, just to put them behind the wall. This is a quick overview so you can see what's going on. Both of the boys very excited to get this game underway. So we're going to Dwarven Holds turn 1. So he, for some reason, he puts his Forge Wardens in the house, and afterwards he told me it was because, you know, you can shoot from the farthest point, so fair enough. And he just moves his Vengeance Seeker up by that, like so. He tries to get off the Rune of Gleaming and the Rune of Resolve. I think he gets off Gleaming, but the Rune of Resolve gets dispelled. So that's his magic phase over. He goes into shooting. He's -1 to hit there with the organ gun, but he does get 14 shots. Absolutely fantastic place to put the organ gun, and he's shooting at it's the Dark Acolytes in this 9th Age. Yeah, absolutely pulverises them. He gets 7 hits on them, and he goes for his 4 ward save, and he kills them all outright. Now, the lad playing the Dark Elves, or sorry, the Dread Elves, is absolutely gutted at this, so it's now time for his revenge. So he moves his Dread Knights into the forest there, takes the dense trains, they're all fine, but he has left his flank open for the Seeker, and he's moved his Dark Riders as close to 18 inches for spell range as he can to the crossbowman there, but has still left himself teetering on the edge for them to shoot back at him. So for his magic phase he gets 7, and he goes for the Fury spell, and he once on the large version he just gets it, and then he goes for the big Doom Bolt as well, which I think, I'm not sure if he gets it off or not, I can't remember. I think he does. No, he didn't get it off on that one, sorry. So he goes to shoot at the crossbowman, and I think he just kills one of them there. He's a bit disappointed in his first turn, understandably, and we did have a chat after the game, and you know, and things he could do better. So the Seeker wants to go into the flank of the Dread Knights. He is at a maximum range of 12 inches, and he rolls 2 6s and a 3 to get right into the flank. I don't think that's going to go that well for the Dread Knights, to be honest now. With 3d3 attacks. He moves his Runic Smith up a little bit there to try and give to be within 6 inches of everyone for magic, which he rolls a 6. Now he's actually, like I said earlier, they're playing their own game here. I'm not interfering apart from rolls, and you know what he's done is he wants to put a magical move onto the Runic Smith to get him back out of dodge, but it was dispelled by the Dread Elves. So the Organ Gun had a fantastic turn in the first turn for the dwarfs. Shoots at the Dark Riders, and at this point the Dread Elf player is looking quite worried. Only gets 4 hits on this one, so it's not too bad for him, and 4 wounds. So it's no armour saves for him, unfortunately, there, and 4 more die. So then the marksmen shoot at him as well, and he shoots at the Dark Riders there, who are well within his range. I think he put the +1 to hit onto the unit as well, and does no damage. So we're going to close combat here. Right, the Vengeance Seeker, he gets a fantastic load of hits, but unfortunately he only does 1 wound to the Dread Knights, who save it, who then turn around and smack him for a wound of their own. And they manage to reform like so to get more attacks in. So, just a quick overview of what's going on in the field there. At this point, the Dread Elf player, he said he's feeling a bit down, a bit sorry for himself, but he wants to do something risky in his turn, which he does. He says to me, I know it's risky, I know they're going to stand and shoot at me, I know they're going to charge through the river and take dangerous trains, but because I think I need to risk it to get into that combat, because I think if I can get in, I can do some damage to him. So he rolls his he rolls his charge distance. He does get in. He passes all his dangerous terrains, thankfully, but on the stand and shoot reaction, the clan's marksman actually killed another 2. So he's only got he's got his general, his BSB sorcerers, and 2 of the unit going into the marksman there. I'm not too sure how it's going to go myself, but we'll wait and see. So for magic, he's had a good average magic phases, and he knows exactly what he wants to do here. And he says, I want to get off the Fury spell, I want that +1 strength, and I want the +1 armour piercing as well. So he gets it off, and it couldn't dispel. So here the Vengeance Seeker kills 2, and the Dread Knights kill him outright. And here he absolutely wallops that unit of marksmen. Fantastic, which they kill 2 back. So he was quite happy with what he did there. I think his general had a halberd and his BSB had a halberd, so they're strength 5 plus that strength 6. They're wounding on 2s either way. So combat res there, or the blue dice for the Dread Elves, and the big blue dice for the Dread Elves, and the small dice are for the dwarfs, who fail their break test, the break test, and get run down. Panic test all around, and being dwarfs, they sustain it and they're fine. So just a quick overview. So going into Dwarven holds turn 3. So here I think he's still in the house at this point. I think he wants to shoot down at the Dread Elves. Goes for his magic phase, and again, fantastic average dice there. And he puts sorry, no, he doesn't get any spells off of that turn, but what he does do, he goes to shoot at the Dread Elves and kills 1 of them. Sorry about the picture then, 2 boys are taking photos as well through this. And then the Organ Gun decides to shoot at them as well. So just a quick shot to show there's 2 left. The Organ gun actually does 5 wounds to the Dread Knight, and he kills them outright, unfortunately. Dread Elf player is a bit peed about that, but he said it is what it is, and that's that. So he just turns to face here. I'm not sure what he's got it planned. I'm just going to try and shoot or magic him, but you know, he knows what he's going to do. So he gets 6 for his magic phase, and he says, I'm one to magic off that organ gun. Sorry. So he gets double 6. You know, I'll explain to him how the magic works and all that sort of stuff. He goes, and the dwarf say, I'll try and dispel it if I can, but he couldn't. Miscast gets number 7, puts a wound on his general. So he only does 2 wounds to the organ gun. And then I said, you know, don't forget your attribute spells. And you know, so we read what the attribute does, and it's a strength 5 armor piercing, a 6 I think it is. Strength 5, yeah, strength 5 hit armor piercing to the organ gun, which he gets off and kills outright. Panic test all around again, and typical dwarfs, they just hold there. So he goes into shooting. He has 4 shots at the general, and I think he does about, is it 2-3 hits? 1 wound he gets on him, sorry. Oh yeah, no, sorry, that's 3 hits, and 1 wound goes through. So this is a couple of days back now, so it's, my memory's quite foggy here. So we're going into Dwarven Holds, turn 4. So yeah, he's got his 4 Dwarves definitely out of the house in this turn. And he just moves them up to come and help out his general and his runic smith there. So reverse shot, therefore it was. Goes straight into magic. He rolls a 6 again, and he says, "Oh, I want a bit of protection." So he puts up the runic gleaming on his 4 Wardens, which he gets off, and he goes for a magical move again to get his general out of the way, but it gets dispelled. I can't remember if they shot here or not. I'm not 100% sure, but that's how it's looking anyway. I mean, if they did shoot, I don't think there's any damage taken, so bit of a moot point really. So the Dread Elf player brings his general's unit into line of sight for shooting and magic. The general and his he goes for a big bolt of darkness again and gets off on a 14. So it's a not bad roll really. And the dwarf player gets a 13. So unfortunately, for the dwarf player, he goes off, and it's 3d6. And strength 5 hits on his general. I think he rolls quite low. He only gets 3 wounds and he saves 2 of them. Both with his armor save and his ward save, so he's happy with that. So he then goes to shooting. He takes 4 shots at the dwarven general. So I think he hits with 3 of them. Yeah, hits with 3 of them. He does 1 wound to this general, and he fails his armor save, he fails his ward save, and kills the general outright. And the runic smith passes his panic test. So in the dwarf's turn, he moves his runic smith back behind the hill again, trying to get out of line of sight, puts a bit of magic onto the 4 wardens. He gets the runic gleam and the runic metal. He gets both of them off onto that unit, so rerolling armor saves and distracted and hard cover as well. Sorry, hard target. So very, very difficult to hit in shooting, and probably not the best idea to charge either. So the 4 wardens shoot at the 3 of the unit. He gets 2 on the BSB, 1 on the general, 1 on the level 2. Don't forget the general's already taken a wound from the miscast, so a bit of a tricky situation. And wounds the BSB once and the sorceress once. So all his characters now on 1 wound, and he's going, ooh, that's a bit close there, wasn't it? So going into his turn, sorry, the Dread Elf's turn 5. He just moves back as far as he can within spell range as well. Yeah, within the Runic Smith there. I think he's going to try and magic him off the board if he can, but you know, with 12 dice, I'm sure he's going to have a bloody good job doing it. I can't see his Runic Smith surviving after that. So he goes for the big Doom Bolt, so Bolt of Darkness, and he rolls quite well, but then the dwarf player equaled it, so no magic going off there, and the +1 strength and armor piercing. He gets that off, but it doesn't really. No, it doesn't. Sorry, he gets dispelled as well. Dwarven holds turn 6, so he just moves his Forge Wardens up here for shooting, which he does, and I think he gets like 2 in his BSB, 1 in his general, 1 in his level 2. Don't forget they're all on 1 wound each at the moment, so it's quite a hairy situation here for both players. Fails to wound the level 2, kills the BSB and the general, gets wounded but he saves, so not a bad turn of shooting there. So we're going into the last turn for the Dread Elves. He does quite a wise thing, you know, it doesn't really matter at this point anyway, but he moves back he stays where he was and he fires his magic, which doesn't do anything, and his shooting doesn't do anything, and that's how the game ends there. You know, his BSB's dead, and the general and the sorceress actually pass the panic test, and that's that. So it's a quick handshake at the end of the game. You know, that's how it should be after every game, whether it's your brother's playing, you're playing with your son, you're playing with a friend, or you're playing in a tournament. You know, it's a very good sign of gamesmanship there, I think. As for points, it was 105 points difference between them at the end. So the victory actually goes to the dwarfs very, very narrowly. Talking about MVPs and what he could have done better in the morning after. It's actually about 10 o'clock on the evening here, you know, and these guys are way past their bedroom. Way past their bedtime. So the dwarf player said, you know, I like the Vengeance Seeker because, you know, he killed a couple of those dinosaur things, and I think the model's cool. So you know, he liked that. He said his best unit. That was his best unit. He said what I would have done differently. I don't think I would have put the Forge Wardens in the house. I think I would have left them outside. Probably just moved them up a little bit. And he goes, I didn't really need to move any more of my army because I had a lot of range with shooting, which I completely agreed with on that. So then I had a chat with my other son who played the Dread Elves, and he said to me, he goes, oh, if I had to do that again, play it again, I'd put the Dark Riders in the middle of the table and I'd put everything together, and I wanted to just run straight down the table at him, because I think it was a bit of a mistake putting my general and all that as far out as I did. But saying that, he did say that was his best unit. See, that's the only unit he had on the table. So yeah, this is, like I said at the beginning, this is the first game of 9th edition. Sorry, 9th age. They did play Warhammer 8th a couple of times, but ended up like walking away through the game. I mean, they only played 1,000 points in that as well, but you know, because it was like, you can't do that, you can't do this, you can't do this. I think they lost interest and they left. I mean, this one they was asking questions like, can I march through the water? At the beginning of the Dread Elf's turn, he said no, and that's why he was at the head of the river in range of spells. You know, and they took a lot more on, and they said they enjoyed this a lot more than what they did with Warhammer. So thumbs up for 9th age. So I'm going to leave it there. Please like, subscribe and comment. If you do comment, please be kind. They're only 9 and 7, but they do want help with their future games. I've been Giant T. Thanks for watching.